When I look back on Hakeem's life, and I look back on his lifestyle, Hakeem always been a good person, but people was just misunderstanding him. He was always misunderstood.
Hakeem Coney is an answer to a prayer that I prayed one day, that God would send me a hardcore gang member who we could help redirect his life, and in return, he would help us in addressing the other gang members on the streets.
He not only influenced me, but he influenced countless others. Hakeem was a great asset to HEVN, and he'll be truly missed. We love him.
Today's show is being taped after our last interview with Hakeem Coney, who I'm sure everybody at this point knows was murdered in cold blood in Hempstead.
Before HEVN, when I was out here living this gang lifestyle, we was doing a lot of immoral things that we wasn't raised upon doing. Like, we was out here robbing people, and we was out here living the street lifestyle. And we basically was void, without substance. And now that I look back on it, I look and I see that we was basically a rebel without a cause.
What HEVN intentions were and vision concerning what we want to accomplish in our community was to unite our communities, every component of the community. And when I say component, I'm talking about government officials, law enforcement, school district, community organizations, agencies, churches, to really come together to first identify what is our community problems in regards with gang and youth violence, and what are the present resources that we have to address this issue.
But I stand firm.
I met with the Bishop Mackey about 2 years ago, and he was telling me about this organization called HEVN and what they're doing in the community. And from the start, I seen Bishop Mackey's sincerity and his love for what he do. So, you know, a close friend of mine, Hakeem Coney, was down with this organization, and he pulled me in. And he basically showed me how to love unconditionally. He basically showed me how to be consistent and be a positive influence in others' lives that need directions.
One time it was thought that in the suburban communities we weren't touched by gangs, but I think that the people of Nassau County, you know, over the last several years are well aware of the negative impact that gangs can have, and I think that's due in part because of HEVN. HEVN, you know, taking a stand, speaking out against gang violence, and trying to educate parents as well as the children about gangs and the negative impact it can have on not only them personally, but the community as a whole.
Our mission is to bring every component of the community together, because this was not one entity problem, this was all of our problems. And HEVN, one of our goals was to be able to develop what we call a community cluster, which brings all of the community agencies and components, I should say, of the community together to really address the issues within their community in regards to the youth and gang violence. HEVN is not just targeting gang violence, HEVN is targeting violence, period.
It changed my views on those that consider themselves a part of the gang life, and not to shut them out, but recognize that we don't have to fear them, but really show them that we are there for them and that they can trust us. And through Bishop Mackey, I learned how to be a man of integrity and be insistent on carrying on love and showing directions to our youth.
I know that HEVN has touched a lot of kids and has caused a lot of kids to change direction and go not in the incorrect direction, but to go in the right direction.
You're the first option, so look for the ball.
after you set the pitch. If it's not there, you do it. The children keep me motivated at doing positive things because I know it was a major challenge for them to change their lifestyle around, just like it was a major challenge for me. So if I have somebody that's consistent in my life and somebody that's willing to just take those extra steps with me, to go with me, it keeps me focused. It keeps me grounded to know that somebody did it for me. So I have no choice but to give back to my community and do it for these other kids. They need opportunity and chances just like anyone else.
I think what Bishop Mackey has done can't really be counted in terms of factual tied-in results. I think he's been able and been successful in placing a lot of young people out of gangs, or taking them out of gangs and placing them in jobs. I think he's been successful in taking a lot of kids out of gangs and away from their environments, trying to get them back into school. But however, in terms of tangible results, gangs are still there. Gangs are still in our communities. So a critic could easily say he hasn't done anything or he's been limited in what he's been able to do. Gangs are always going to exist, and whether we have good people like Bishop Mackey or we don't, the bottom line is if we don't take more involvement as parents and provide that structure behind our young people, they're always going to exist.
I have seen so much with this project. Families that have lived through tragedy and pain, that is still living with it today. Young people's lives who have just been simply misguided because absence of fathers, absence of mothers in the home. And I am so committed to heaven until the challenges that I have faced. What has motivated me was the lives that we've been able to turn around. And we've been able to, from day to day, continue to face the different struggles and the challenges that heaven is confronted with, to be able to see its vision fulfilled totally.
I see heaven as one of the main organizations, not just for Long Island, but an example throughout the metropolitan area, throughout the different states, and really being funded and using heaven example that can really be patterned after to help other communities.
Heaven will always be a part of my life. One day I said to an inmate in prison, I said that if I was to stop with heaven right now, and before I can even finish my sentence, he interrupted me and said, please don't do that. There's inmates that's here right now who are talking about when they get out, they want to come and see you and for you to help redirect their lives. Heaven is a very powerful component that exists that can make a great impact in our communities, in our nation, and redirecting the lives of gang members, and also to prevent young people from entering into gangs and this youth violence piece that we're dealing with. I think that it's a great opportunity. I think with the proper support and the resources that is certainly still needed, with the proper staffing in Heaven's executive office, that we will see the greater results and the greater impacts on the lives of these young people who really want a better life than what's being offered to them through this lifestyle.